Welcome to Elaine Sterling, esthetician. Welcome to Season 2, Esthetician Unlocked. You are now in the E-Lane. Welcome to Esthetician Unlocked. You are now in the E-Lane. I have an amazing guest today. I would like to consider her my friend and my bestie, Esty, Kelly Wolcott, and she has been in the industry for I don't want to say like a long time because then we sound like dinosaurs, but kind of grew up together. And you know what, Kelly, I would like to kind of hear your story about how you started. How did you get into the esthetician business arena?
How did I get into the E-lane?
You're in your own lane.
I am.
But sometimes you jump into the E-lane.
I actually love to get into the HOV lane with you.
Two-car lane.
Golly, how did I get started in this industry? I had a baby. And after I had this beautiful child 31 years ago, I broke out. My skin went insane. It was just sort of this hormonal postpartum and craziness, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to go to the doctor and get on antibiotics because I was nursing, and so I was talking to my hairstylist, and she said, go to our esthetician. And I said, you're what? I'd never even heard of a facial. So I went to her, and she cleared my skin up with professional treatments and home care and some nutritional supplements. She partnered with my pediatrician because I was nursing about what supplements I could take and making sure that the home care that she gave me didn't have any contraindications with nursing. And so she cleared my skin, and I said, I want to do this. I want to give what was given to me to other people. So
And how old is your daughter now?
31.
Wow, so that was 31 years ago.
Mm-hmm. I always say that I went to school last century. So 25 years ago, I went to school.
And in Atlanta?
In Atlanta.
And there was only one school, right?
One,
back then.
ISSN, yeah, and I think they do everything now too. But yeah, and went there, got my license, and that was it. I mean, the license gave me a key to start learning, and just unlocked this entire world of chemistry, biology, customer service, business entrepreneurship. I'm a writer now. I contribute to Dermoscope magazine. It's just been this crazy career path.
It's a lifestyle, I think.
It is an obsession. I won't lie. I think we're all a little obsessed with what we do.
Exactly. And did you always work for yourself, or did you work in spas and salons to start with and then work for yourself?
Yeah, I started at a small, very independent salon, and then went to work at a major chain here that was here for a very long time. I think you worked there, I worked there, and a legend here that she's not with us anymore, but she was an amazing influence, I think, on a lot of Atlanta estheticians.
Yeah.
And went from there to full service salon and spa in Gwinnett County and worked there for a long time, and ended up helping build a spa section in a wellness center. It was my first foray into wellness and spa combined. It was a chiropractor's office, and I helped build out set up their spa. And from there, I started my own treatment room. I rented in a salon, kind of before salon suites became what they are today.
Right.
And that catapulted me into a storefront. So I built out a storefront. So I kind of done a little bit of everything, minus hardcore med spa stuff. I haven't really worked much in there. I do.
How have you evolved? Like as far as your services that you provide, your skincare philosophy, has that evolved as well?
Oh yes. Oh yes. education, continuing education, staying abreast of the trends because there are so many trends now, and some of them are not rooted in scientific validity at all.
Right.
And you're forced to learn about what's going on because your clients come to you and ask questions. And in order to provide them with the best care, you have to continually learn. One of the commitments I made to myself was to learn something new every year. And I think you've been an integral part of that journey for me. I've taken how much advanced education with you and certifications. It's been a lot, and that it evolves, it changes because technology's changed. The ingredient formulations have changed. The chemistry is so great now, you can pack so much into a single product and you don't lose the effectiveness of any ingredient. So,
And the clients have changed. They're more informed.
yes.
Sometimes ill-informed, but they are,
Yes.
they sort of, they're also researching and learning the latest and greatest.
Mhm.
And so we have to be informed. Yeah, I always say, I go to class every year, whether it's learning something with business or whether it's an actual skill. It's really important because you think you know it all and then you just get into a rut, you know. And even if it's something that you know, I think knowing a new way of doing it or a different way of doing it, or even going to class and having that affirmation,
Mhm.
I think is inspiring. Right?
Yes, if you lock yourself away in a treatment room and you never learn another thing, I feel like it's a huge disservice, not just to your people you're serving, but to yourself. Growth is what makes us better. Change.
It really is. And it's you also teach some advanced postgraduate classes too.
I do. I work with a line here and help
Institute de
facilitate their 5 day, and I have some online courses. They're more business focused right now, just because
your classes online.
yes, because I feel like setting up standards and processes for everything that we do. We have protocols for facials, right? Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. You need to have that for your business.
SOPs.
Yes, standard operating procedures.
For everything.
Everything, literally everything, even your creativity time. Schedule your creativity time.
Right.
Because if you don't, then you won't do it. That's what I find. Fritter the day away and you waste a bunch of time. But I think learning and providing what I've learned over the 25 years that I've been licensed and sharing that with others is part of my mandate, part of something I want to do.
And tell me about your journey with Skin Games, what Skin Games is and what you do there and how you collaborate with them and all of that
work. And the Skin Games, I found out about it in 2019 or 2018. And it was a Facebook post, right? I was sitting there scrolling through Facebook and told Seth, my husband, hey, there's this international competition. It's called the Skin Games. And he said, oh, you should enter. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it. Now, mind you, I just finished my CIDESCO Diploma certification with you and had this commitment to education. I felt like I was a really competent esthetician, and I did not feel like that was something that I had the skill set or ability to do. So I just deliberately let it go by. And the next year, I came across the post again, and I was tagged by Lynn Ross in that post. And I called her and said, did you tag me on purpose? And she said, yes, I want you to compete. So I did as a player in 2020, and we all know how 2020 went. So
oh my God.
I learned how to pivot a lot. Everybody did. But I had to finish my case studies virtually because we were on lockdown and we couldn't see clients. I couldn't do.
We're talking about COVID for anybody that doesn't remember COVID. 2 weeks to stop the spread. I think we're in year 69 of COVID.
And Atlanta didn't shut down at all.
We were actually, where I was,
We shut down for 5 minutes. Yeah.
yeah, 8.5 months I was closed. We were.
Because you were in California. Yeah, you couldn't even go on the beach.
No, couldn't. So I finished those case studies, and that was a learning experience. And that's where, CIDESCO helped prep me for that, because you do case studies for CIDESCO iTech. You prepare a treatment plan, and after the competition, as far as players were concerned, I asked Jennifer, she owns Rosenblum, she owns the Skin Games, if I could judge, how can I become more involved? I just fell in love with the entire concept of being able to network and showcase your work, because a lot of times you're inside a dark treatment room by yourself. Even if you're working with a group of other professionals, you still go inside that treatment room and you're by yourself.
Mhm.
And it provides this platform where we can collaborate and network and learn from each other. So she actually asked me to help and be director of judges. So now this is my 5th year, and we've worked to build standards and processes around the competition to make it run more smoothly. We've incorporated technology to help us with accuracy and ease, and I think it's a great platform for any professional to attend, whether they're competing or not, because you get exposure to people like you,
It's
people.
great networking, and also there's a lot of vendors there with the latest equipment and products, and you can meet them and other estheticians in the field. So I think it's fabulous. And I always like the small, I think I saw that NASM Pro is coming back to Georgia, I think September, October.
Nice.
But I like these Skin Games. It's not small because there's like 400-500 people there, but it's not like there's thousands of people, and so you can really have FaceTime with people. But I love what you do, because you're like the Wizard of Oz, because you're in this conference room with these huge screens and you don't see you, and then somebody opens the door and you're like, hello. It's like this is the Wizard of Oz. It's doing all of those behind the scenes things. Yes. And then you roped your husband into us, well, him behind as the Wizard of Oz too.
He is, we call him our data architect. He jokes, he says, if the people at work knew that you were calling me a data architect, they would laugh. But he's really helped us understand how data can help you with accuracy and correctness, and make the system as fair as possible, and keep it in an unbiased nature. I think the integrity of what we do is important to preserve and protect. And I think it's a great labor of love, and it's a service that I get to help make our industry better.
Yeah, we're paving the way. I always say we're paving the way for the next generation, because I'm not going to be alive forever. So and I know that you and I are really big on standards and giving the clients the best, highest standard facials and treatments we can, and also educating the community of our career choice.
Yes,
Right.
and why it's important. It's important for you to be able to step out and be confident as a client, and then as a professional. I think what we do is more than just skin deep.
And that's cute. And what I love about the aesthetics is that you moved somewhere else besides California. Didn't you move to another state as well, or was it just California?
Yes, I started in Beaufort, and I actually ended up selling my business there. And then we moved to Florida
That's right.
for a really, really fast minute.
Okay.
And we're supposed to end up in Houston, Texas. So I have actually 4 licenses now. I got licensed. I've always maintained my license here in Georgia. I have one in Florida because we were supposed to live there. Then we were supposed to move to Texas, so I got licensed in Texas. We never moved. We ended up in California, and I was there for 3 years.
So that's what I love about aesthetics and the beauty industry, is that you can move anywhere and do your craft, and move to different states. We were in London, and my girlfriend and I we were sitting having some lunch, and there was a lady next to us. She was young, 30s, and she lived on some island in Europe. And she was like, I was like, oh, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm an esthetician and I fly back to London. I think she lives in the island in Crete or something. And I fly back to London once a month and I do my clients. And they have these, which I think is a brilliant idea. I would love to have one. They have these things they call like ad hoc. They're you actually rent the salon loft by the hour, not by the week. So, because like some therapists and technicians, they work for somebody else and then they just have, clients 1 or 2 days a week. So you can rent it by the hour, 3 hour minimum. And so she goes to London once a month and for 2 days, she does her clients and then she flies back.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God, that is like the most amazing idea. Because I think that's what happens with these salon lofts, the type of booth rentals is that a lot of therapists, it's high turnover because it used to be 250 a week. I think it's probably gone up to more like 500. When it started. So if you think about it, even somebody that is still in corporate America, they could, pull their clients together on a Saturday and Sunday. And you just, it's an online booking, you just book and it's like an Airbnb. You just have a little punch clock on the door and you can just help and you bring your products and your own towels in and all that. But I thought it was brilliant. I was like, oh my God, how can I buy a building and do this here? But then I was like, hey, Elaine, do you really need another thing to do?
Do you really want another thing to do?
But it's funny, I was driving down the street yesterday in Sandy Springs and I saw a building. I was like, I should just buy that building and I should just create this by the hour beauty B&B.
Beauty collective.
Yeah, exactly. Like a WeWork, but you don't have to do it monthly. You can do it by the hour, 3 hour minimum, because obviously it takes time to set up or whatever. But when I think about, there's a lot of hairstylists that still work, and then extensions are expensive. They're like $1,000, $1,500 a set. So that's that. If I had another life and I didn't have anything to do, that would be my beauty B&B, beauty collectors. So where's your salon now or your spa?
Sandy Springs. Okay. I'm in Sandy Springs and I am inside and I rent from another esthetician. She has an acne clinic and all she works on is acne. Cool. So I rent a room inside her facility. I wasn't ready when we came back from California to do a storefront again and manage people. I said, I don't want to ever manage people again. And I have this huge project that I manage once a year with the Skin Games.
Yeah, but you don't have to have that ongoing.
It's not a daily thing.
But it's hard. You can see that getting people to do what they're supposed to do. Chris Rock has this funny joke. You don't get credit for what you're supposed to do. Like his kids were like, oh, look, I went to school, or look, I did my homework. Well, so you don't get credit for what you're supposed to do. That's part of sums up the joke. Yeah, it's managing people is I don't think they should take that word out because you can't manage people.
No, you really can't.
Because people will do what people are going to do. You can give them the guidelines and the SOPs and try and inspire them. But I also say you're only as good as what's going on in your personal life.
I agree. I think that striving to be perfect is not good. I try to give myself grace and give 100% of whatever I'm capable of for that day. And that 100% might not be as good as it was last Tuesday.
That's right.
But as long as it is my best,
that's right,
for that day, because personal lives happen and
we're human beings. We get tired, sad, mad. On my logo for the school, it says excellence. And I explain to the students, we're not excellent every day. We're striving for excellence
every day.
And my excellence today may be 80%, and yesterday may be 20%, and tomorrow it may be 500%. I don't know. But we strive for excellence every day, and every day it looks different.
It does. Because I think the only thing that I've learned over the years is one of the only things is that you can only control how you react to things. You cannot control the circumstances,
No.
no matter how much you try.
No.
You're just your response to them. So I've tried to take a moment. I think we live in such a instant gratification society and everything feels like it has to be right now or that it's going to be that way forever. But that it's okay to take a second, take a breath, lean on what you know, and then go forward.
Right. Those are wise words and not easy to follow, especially somebody with a hot temper like me. I have a chapter in my book that's the battlefield of business, and I do feel like I'm going to battle every day. And it's not with employees; it's more battle with the public, and then you're battling with the government, and then there's always a battle every day. That you have to fight. And so I would say being in business is not for sissies.
No, it is not. No, it is not. And I think that's one thing that you worked really hard to offer your students. It's something that I don't think that everyone is meant to be a business owner.
No. Mm-mm.
And that's
No.
okay. There's
Yeah.
absolutely nothing wrong with that, but you have to be able to manage all of that. You're wearing every single hat.
Yeah.
When you step out.
Yeah. And I call it makers and takers, but you can, one of my favorite books is The E-Myth. It's one of the original business books. But it's like I think entrepreneurs, there is traits that entrepreneurs have.
Yes.
And then I think people that work for you and for companies, they want to know how much they're going to make in 2 weeks. They want to know what their paycheck is going to be. They're workers. They understand what their position is, what their job description, what their tasks are, and that's okay. You need those people. I need those people, right?
Yes.
Where my brain goes to, well, how much could I make in 2 weeks? It may be zero, it may be minus, or it may be, and also I think most entrepreneurs don't like to be told what to do.
No.
I don't like to be told what to do.
No.
So I think that's every time I speak to entrepreneurs, the one thing that comes up is I don't want to be told what to do.
Yes.
I want to create my own destiny.
Yes.
Right?
You do. You do.
Yeah. So how do you think technology and AI is going to change the industry?
Depending on how you embrace it, it can be an amazing tool. I think it'll make things simpler for us. I don't think it'll take away from what we offer. I think it's only going to be additive because you'll be able to run a business and have these tools and technology at your fingertips if you implement the standards and the processes. Right now, my intake form is digital. When you schedule an appointment with me to come in for a facial, if you're a first-time client, I send you a digital intake form. And once you submit that, it triggers an email chain that introduces you. It sends you a guidebook about what to expect when you come in. And that's all automated. I don't have to do anything at all. And because I don't have a receptionist.
Right.
The day before your appointment, I'll send you a client update form because that's part of the consultation process. That's an ongoing thing. Every service, we have to update your health history. I have to know what's changed. And to do all of that beforehand allows me to spend more time working on your skin rather than, has anything changed since I've seen you last? Just speeds up the process.
Right.
And
it's technology work for you.
Yes, and it's not going anywhere.
No. Look how quick. I mean, I didn't even hear about AI until COVID, and then all of a sudden it became part of our world. They say you can buy robots in 2028. I'm going to buy one. I've already got a list of things I wanted to do.
Yes, like?
Well, I wanted to walk the dogs. I wanted to buy my groceries. I wanted to organize my closets. I wanted to answer my emails. I wanted to buy the food, cook the food, walk the dogs, wash the dogs, organize all my appointments. I just can't wait. The only thing I'm worried about is I don't want the robot staring at me when I'm sleeping.
Oh,
That's the only thing that,
maybe give it its own little bedroom and tell it to go to bed.
yeah, like my daughter said, well, maybe just put it on its charging station, because that would freak me out.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Yeah. So those are I wonder if you fly with your robot, I guess you have to buy it its own seat.
Probably.
This is gonna be like when the
Unless you
jets.
check it. Could you check it?
Yes, you could, you could put suitcase, and then of course we'll get in trouble with human rights. Because you gotta be nice to these robots. I don't know about you, but Ash and I took this class, and it said that you must be nice to AI, don't be mean to it. So I always say thank you.
I do too.
I say please.
I have conversations with my
Yeah,
AI.
so
I
just-
named them.
Just in case, because then if things go out of hand, it can remember that I was nice. You know, don't kick that dog, the robot dog. Don't be mean to the robot dog. Yeah, so I know it's a whole different world that we're living in, but I think for AI I think skin analysis is gonna really help.
I do too.
Agreed. I think also clients that have allergies,
Mhm.
I think it's gonna help you really quickly discern whether there's something in your, because I can't see those bottles, and I can't remember everything that's in there. So I think it's gonna really help us really quickly so that we don't have any reactions in the service, because you're gonna have reactions. I mean, you know, people can be allergic to anything, and then they can be allergic to something for a short time, and then not a short time, so it can go back and forth. So I think it's really gonna help us. I mean, yes, I didn't know this, and somebody took, when I went to get my hair done, they told me, and I didn't go, but evidently there's an Amazon hairdresser in London where robots cut the hair, and they don't do a good job. I mean, I want to go to a human being for my services.
Touch, I think, is something that AI will never be
It's
able
just
to
an
replicate.
experience.
Yes.
You know, the conversation that I had when I have my hair done, or yes, and the touch therapy and connecting with another human being, we're meant to connect.
We are.
I think, and that's during COVID was very painful, because I'm used to being around 400 to 500 people every single day, right?
Right.
And I love my quiet time at home. But during COVID, when that was taken away, you know, it wasn't healthy. Thank goodness I had my two little dogs, right? So I had that, but it was not, we're supposed to be connected.
We are. We're social creatures.
Yeah,
We're packs. We have to have our pack.
yeah,
I do think that one of the things that's an ultimate privilege for us of what we get to do and what we've chosen to do is you spend 45 minutes to an hour and a half with a client, depending on what their service is that day. And if you think about it, it's the only time that most of them are 100% disconnected from their technology.
right. Yeah.
You know, even with your spouse, you know,
And the technician and the therapist, the esthetician, also it's disconnected.
disconnected.
Yeah,
And I think
it's like
that,
a little sanctuary.
yeah, that decompression time is.
Nobody can get you
Nope,
for that hour,
nope, no.
regardless of what's going on in the world. Yeah, touching people's lives with our hands and our hearts. It's really, I think, a gift that this industry has.
It is. And you have to want to serve people.
Yes,
That's,
yes, it's definitely a giving, serving, you know, type of industry, like nursing, chiropractic. You definitely are serving people. And if you don't, you know, I remember once I had a student, and in orientation, she was like, well, I don't like to touch people. I was like, well, maybe you should find somebody else.
You're gonna be touching people.
Industry for you.
Yeah.
That's cute.
I think that, you know, with what we do, it's a privilege, it's an honor, and you have to maintain that
Right. Yeah.
client relationship and protect the sanctity of it.
So I want to really encourage new estheticians and estheticians that have been in the industry for a long time. Like Kelly and I are both ITEC and CIDESCO, and I think, and we've gone to a lot of postgraduate education and learned all the techniques and the tools. And I think, you know, you added to your website, and you added to your blogs and your bio and all of that, and so it kind of puts you on a different level, you know. And then you can also teach your clients about your achievements, and so when they're searching, oh, let me try her, she's, you know, she looks like she's really serious about her craft, about her knowledge.
Dedicated to it.
Yeah, so I certainly has opened doors for me in my career.
I think so. I think it has. And then I think helping to run the judging process with the skin games, because it is an international platform. We had judges from 4 different countries this year come in, and players coming from all different countries.
Players from Australia,
Mhm.
um,
Africa, we've had Sweden, we've had UK, we've had Canada, uh, Puerto Rico, their territory, but we've, I think having those credentials, ITech, CIDESCO, NCEA, adds to the legitimacy that we're not just a US based
right.
event, and it's one of I think it's rapidly becoming one of the industry's leading events.
Well, there's nothing else
like it.
And so, and there's also something about being the first, so, they have the years and the reputation, to stand on, and I just think it's great. And it's nice to be able to showcase your work,
It is.
I think that's fantastic as well. And the quality of the work and the quality of the case studies, you can tell that everybody that entered, I really saw how serious they were about their industry, about what they're doing, how they're touching people's lives. I loved Spa Tank as well. I was part of that.
Yes, that's fun.
Oh my
Canvas
God.
is amazing.
That was so fun. Seeing how to, people's different business ideas,
Mhm.
and it was great. Mentoring the next generation.
And it's a place where you can find a mentor. You can build
Yes.
a network of colleagues that you can reach out to
Yeah.
if you're struggling with something. And you become lifelong friends, confidants, shoulder to cry on, somebody to celebrate with. It's one of the only events that I've been to where the focus is on building a community that supports you. Not just here, come and buy my product.
Right.
There's that. You have exposure to newer brands that come out with great technology. And if you want a product line, if you're looking for product lines, that's there, it's available. But it's really, I think, ultimately one of the only places where the focus is on the professional. And that's unique.
Now tell me about your business classes. I mean, do you have different ones, or is it?
I do. Right now I'm doing a series there's one on imposter syndrome because I struggle with that immensely. And I read somewhere that the only way to overcome something is to just kind of dive into it and learn everything about it so it doesn't have power over you anymore. I think fear stops a lot of people from wanting to try something or take a risk. And if you don't ever do it, then there's no reward ever, right? So there's one on imposter syndrome. There's one that I created for a school for graduates that are turning into going in, transitioning from a student to a professional. And there's how to create a resume, how to create an elevator pitch to tell people what you do and how you do it very succinctly, and mock interview questions that I actually used when I hired estheticians in my business. They're setting up standards and operations and processes. There's a couple of classes about chemical peels coming out. Not what chemical peel goes with this, but more about what to look for in your chemical peel formulations.
So now, are these pre-recorded, or are they live classes?
Both.
Okay. And where do they find these classes? Where can we find you?
Oh, at howtoesthetics.com.
Howtoesthetics.com. Okay. Well, very good. If anybody wants to take those classes, because I think, we have business training, actually in the program called Cunity, but I think it's the nuts and bolts as well.
Mhm.
Those SOPs of each section to be to be broken down. I think it's important. I'm starting to, next week I'm going into the classes and also teaching a business class how to actually start a salon or spa. And so what's needed. So we'll see how that one goes.
I think because when you look at a project and you look at it at its entirety, it can become overwhelming. But breaking anything down into a step, just like your facial protocol,
Right.
it makes it manageable and obtainable and
Right.
achievable. But if you don't know what you don't know,
No.
and to have somebody like you offering this to your students is amazing, because I didn't have that.
Yeah.
When I went.
The community is a financial literacy where they learn how to, read a P&L, and they learn about, all finances. It's like 8 modules. But now I'm going to go in and just talk about, okay, this is what you need to start thinking about opening a spa. Just because I think that, that doesn't come naturally to anybody. They don't teach these life skills in schools, unfortunately. And even if you work for somebody else, you still have to be like it's your own business, and you may work for a couple of spas. You may do something on your own. You have to still know how to manage your money and your time.
Yes.
And like you said, you've had to create systems because you don't have a receptionist. And in the beginning, you've got to do everything, because the more you outsource, the more you have to pay.
Right, and right away you're not going to have that discretionary income.
No.
Your revenue has to support onboarding another person,
Right.
and sometimes you onboard that person and it costs you a little bit more money for the short term until they start to pay for themselves. And
So I've had my school for 17 years now, and so now my latest saying to not my employees, my collaborators, I work for my employees, they don't work for me. I say, okay, just because we've been doing this for 17 years doesn't mean it's still working. It's time to change, because we some of the things we've actually been doing since day one, and the world has changed, people have evolved, systems have evolved, and I'm like, okay, that system, paperwork, whatever it was, I think it's time to change.
right, it may be redundant, it may be outdated, there may be something out there that automates it, makes it easier and faster.
We've just been so used to doing this system, or this way, or this schedule, or what's been in our student handbook for 17 years. I'm like, okay, guys, there may be a different way, just because we do it 17 years. Everything's subject to change.
Always, always.
So I have so loved this, but your spa website is something different when somebody wants to book services, right? It's
Wish Aesthetics.
Wish Aesthetics.
Wildly intense skin health. I grant your skincare wish.
Oh, that is so beautiful. I loved hanging out with you.
It's good.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing the e-lane with me.
Well, thanks for letting me drive in it for a while. I can be found at Wish Aesthetics on Instagram, and How to Esthetician Training on Instagram. Website for spa services is wishaesthetics.com. For advanced education is howtoaesthetics.com.
Please subscribe. We have some amazing guests coming up, and we are just excited to grow this, but also to share our knowledge, and hopefully you can learn something and grow your business, because that's what we want. So don't forget, stay in the e-lane. Bye.